Hello and welcome to this week's Granny's Garden. Now this week it's all about spring flowering bulbs. I put 4 different orders in with Farmer Gracy, which is my go-to reference for buying bulbs, and 2 of them have already arrived. I'm still waiting on 2 of them, but they will be arriving during the month of October. Now this time I'm going to concentrate on 2 new areas, or 2 main areas of the garden. One is the future rose garden, or rose border better said, and the other is where the old alder tree used to be. Now the very first thing I do as soon as I receive a notification from Farmer Gracy is to head to their new for 2022 section. I have a look in general to see what they have on offer, and inevitably and invariably I always find something. So that's the first order I put in, because I want to get in there before anybody else and to make sure they're not sold out. Now order number 2 does tend to follow a predefined list that I've prepared previously during the winter, and it's to fix various different areas of the garden I want to little spruce up, or I want to have certain varieties of bulbs. Now this order I also like to get in early because it does contain some all-time gardening favourites, and they also sell out pretty quickly. Now order number 3 tends to be the dangerous one. You've got your main orders in, you're just sitting back at night on the couch and relaxed, and you just happen to be looking through the catalogue. And we all know the feeling. It's like when you go to a garden centre just for a walk around, you're not going to buy absolutely anything, and what happens? You end up with a shopping trolley full. Guilty as charged. And order number 4, well, I'll tell you about that in a minute. This long border here is the new rose border, or the future rose border. In a recent video you're going to have seen me transplant, there's one on either end, these established rose bushes. I also placed 4 flags, red flags you can see here, that mark the spot where next month, in the month of November, I'm going to be planting the new roses that are going to arrive as bare roots. All I need to do then is get rid of the zinnias, which are obviously annual plants, and also space out better these beautifully mounded columbines. I've got 2 different types, the purple type and the yellow one. Beautiful architecture, even when they're not in flower, they're beautiful. So I'm just going to space those out better, but all of the rest of this very, very long space and underplanting the roses are going to be spring bulbs, mini narcissus, mini tulips and anemones. We are going to start with the anemones. You can see here the very recognisable anemone leaves. These I planted last year and belong to Anemone coronaria, the bride. They're pure white, extremely prolific, and I was so pleased with them. They literally flowered all the way up until the deadpan heat of summer, and as soon as the weather has cooled down, out the leaves pop again. New for this year is an Israeli bred anemone called Fullstar, and I've got 2 different types. Fullstar mix, which contains white, pale pink, lilac and purple. And I've got Fullstar red and white, which obviously is red and white. These are beautiful blooms, fluffy you could say. A true double flower, very long lasting. When planting anemones, you do have to soak them always minimum 2 to 3 hours, preferably a little bit longer if you have time. And the breeder recommends planting them on their sides. Now let's go with the mini daffs. Last year I trialled in my garden the Rip Van Winkle, and I was absolutely delighted with the results, so obviously I've got some more. I generally do tend to trial plants. I don't like to splurge a lot of money and then sort of say, oh my gosh, I don't like it, or it flops, or it doesn't do well in the garden, etc, etc. So always I try my plants first, and if I like it, I get a lot more, and if I don't like it, I just cross it off the list and say, forget about that forevermore. Now, new for this year for me is the Tête Bouclé. A bit like tete-a-tete, but this is Tête Bouclé. Gorgeous, full, fluffy pom-pom. It's absolutely delightful. Golden yellow. It's absolutely gorgeous. If it's anything like the photo, looking so forward to seeing it. And to finish off the mini narcissus, I actually got a mix. This one is rock garden or alpine mix, and it's just a general. I've got 30 bulbs here of all types of different varieties of small mini narcissus. Now we're going to go with the mini tulips. The first one I've got is Acuminata. Now I did try this out last year, loved it. Very unusual flower. More than petals, it's got like a shooting flame that is red and yellow, and it really does look like a firebird flame. Definitely one for looking at. The next one I've got is Luciana Chrysantha. This is also known as the Golden Lady, and it closes and opens like a lot of botanical tulips do. When it's closed it's red, and when it's opened it's golden colour. What else have I got? The Orphinidia flava. This is a tricolour one. It is gold, orange and green. How about that? And the last one is Pulchella violacea, and it's like a magenta colour. Nice selection there. One thing to note that all of the ones I've mentioned are botanical or species tulips, so they do come back year upon year upon year, not like the larger cousins, which come back maybe iffy, and when they do come back they're a bit wonky. So you can depend on these to come back year on year and come back the same. So a good nice selection there. Now the next area I'm going to be looking at is where the old alder tree used to be, right behind me. And I'm going to be planting 3 Itoh peonies. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with the intersectional peonies, it's a cross between the herbaceous peony and the tree peonies, and it's taken the best of both worlds. Itoh peonies have a nice mounded shape to them, and they're shorter in stature than the tree peonies, but they do have wooded stems, and you know what that means? Yep! It means they don't flop, and if they don't flop, it means they don't need to be staked, which is the bane of most gardeners' lives. They also flower prolifically, and a lot of the blooms are huge, particularly in some varieties where they can be up to 8 inches wide. When you plant them in the landscape, they need to be in full sun, but they can take some partial shade also. You can plant them in containers, but if you do plant in a container, it's extra large. The soil needs to be neutral or slightly acidic, and they have to be planted very shallow. The maximum amount of soil above them should be somewhere between 3/4 of an inch to 2 inches, no more. If not, they won't flower properly. After a full growing season, come autumn, the leaves are going to fall and you're going to be left with the wooden structure. What do? Absolutely nothing. Wait until the following month of February and then come in and cut them to 3 inches above the ground, or to where the first visible bud is. But usually at that stage, by February, you can cut it 3 inches to the ground. Apply no fertilizer, no stakes, just leave it alone. Ooh, one important thing is they do need consistent moisture, especially during the growing season and especially during the summer. So if you have a tendency to have hot, dry summers, or generally dry summers, you are going to have to help them along water-wise. Now I have bought 3 different varieties. The first of them is called Canary Brilliants, and I'm going to be planting this in the middle of the 3 because it's going to be the tallest. This is 36 to 48 inches tall. And the flowers start out as a very like a pale yellowy cream and then open out into a brighter yellow with coral markings. Now the next one I've got is Magical Mystery Tour. What a name! And this is a soft peach colour edged with lavender. Delightful, and it is slightly smaller. This is 24 to 30 inches tall. The last one I've got is quite well known. It's Bartzella. This is the one that's got the 8-inch flowers, very prolific flower, and it's got a nice lemony scent. So I think those 3 are going to give a beautiful accent to that border, and they're going to be underplanted with large, tall daffodils. Now, also this year I'm going to be planting 2 permanent containers. One of them is the Ranunculus, Elegance, Pastello. Now, Farmer Gracy have the exclusive rights of this for sale in Great Britain, and it's a beautiful pink pastel colour, absolutely delightful. As usually with Ranunculus, they have to be soaked beforehand, and the claws, if you can see it's got little claws on it, has to be planted facing downwards. Now, this is not frost hardy, so I'm going to plant it in compost, not in potting soil. I'm going to be planting it in a container in compost. I'll fill up the container 3/4 of the way, then I'll put these little pre-soaked little claws facing downwards, then I'll cover it with another 3 to 4 inches of compost, and then water it in really well. And once that's finished, then I'll water it in again really well, and then I'm going to take it inside to the basement. I'm not even going to look at it until it starts showing signs of life next spring. Now, the next permanent container is going to be Farmer Gracy's Iced Splendor Mix, which is a blue and white mix. And it consists of, I've got 10 Narcissus Thalia, which is the white Narcissus, and it's going to be mixed with 25 Muscari Armeniacum, the blue ones. So white and blue together, I think that's going to be a stunning combination. Initially I'm going to put it in a wide container out in the new Maceta garden. In the springtime it's just when they flower. I've got no leaves on the tree, so there's a lot more light going to get in there, and I think it's going to be absolutely perfect. And sorry about Lily barking in the background. Now, I do have 2 types of varieties of tulips that I absolutely love. They're tall varieties, they don't come back for me, and one is Ballerina and the other is Florosa. So what I do is plant them in containers and treat them as an annual. So basically plant them the same as you would the Ranunculus, but instead of in compost, I put them ordinary potting soil, and then I water them really well. But tulips do need a very cold period, so obviously they're not going to go into the basement to overwinter, they're going to stay out here. But because I've got very wet winters and a lot of snow, I can't afford them to rot and get waterlogged. So I put them right where I'm sitting at the moment. It's got a roof on it, but it's got no walls on it, so it's perfect. It's going to keep them nice and cool, but avoid getting waterlogged. Then come spring on to move them out to a permanent position, probably on the edge of that raised border on top of the train sleepers. It's very, very flat, very, very wide, and a perfect place for this type of containers. The great thing about planting tulips as an annual in containers is the very second the flowers fade, you just pull them. There's none of this yellowing leaves and all going soggy and horrible, so you can just pull them and then plant lovely things for the summer in the same container. So my order number 4 with Farmer Gracy is for botanical crocus. Now, I was looking the other day at the actual gap or the lawn edge between the euonymus hedge and the lawn itself, and during the winter months and indeed early spring, there's no growth whatsoever on that lawn. So I sort of had the idea of planting a whole border of different coloured varieties of crocus, and I think it's going to look really, really lovely. I ordered 100. I'm thinking, looking at it now, that I'll probably fall short, but I can order some more anyway. There's no problem there with the botanical crocus. I think they won't sell out, hopefully over the next 2 weeks. Well, it's one thing to sit comfortably back in the chair and blab about all these spring bulbs. It's another to actually plant them. So I think I have to get out my Hori-Hori and my auger. Thanks be to goodness I have an auger. Phew! But it's still going to be hard work. Even if you've got a helping hand, it's still hard work to plant bulbs, especially when you have to plant them in large quantities. So for the moment from me, it's bye-bye, and I'll see you next week here in Granny's garden, if there's anything left of me after planting all of this lot. Bye-bye now.